Welcome to the Brett Davis Podcast. Well, hey, everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. It's been great for us, haven't it? So far?
It has.
Pretty good.
It's been a great day.
Thank you very much for being here, of course. I'm Brett Davis. This is the Brett Davis Show. We're at the IQ Podcast studio in Coronado. And, of course, we have our regular comedian who's shaking it up in San Diego. And more and more, everybody's hearing about him, Taylor Dunn.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
So you've got a big event coming up at the Laugh Factory, which is not a really easy thing to get into, is it?
No, it is not. I started this whole show production thing about 4 or 5 months ago, just producing these small shows in an art gallery here on Coronado. And if you had told me that in just a couple of months, I would be producing a show on Friday night at the Laugh Factory in downtown San Diego, I would have looked at you and I wouldn't have believed you. So,
well, I think first of all, we've attended, Sarah and I've attended that was a couple weeks ago at the art gallery.
Yes,
or
you came and saw
was.
Zoltan.
And it was hilarious. We laughed the whole time. It was a very community orientated. Everybody was very good humored, which is nice because nowadays people are so sensitive about certain things.
That is true. Yeah. It's I think after the 2 years that we've had, I think everybody just is like just ready to relax a little bit and just kind of kick their feet up and just have a good time. I've noticed that a lot at a lot of the comedy shows I've been to lately.
I think so too. And we appreciate what you do. And so tell us a little bit about, first of all, about the event this Friday again, what's going on, where it's at, the time it starts, who's going to be there.
Absolutely. So this Friday night, we have 2 shows scheduled. 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. is one night only. Our headliner is David Lucas. Now, if you look this guy up, you're probably going to see a lot of faces that you're really familiar with, ranging from Joe Rogan. He's like one of Joe Rogan's, like, he talks about him all the time on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Wow.
He talks about how funny he is. I've seen him personally about 2 years ago, and the guy is an absolute riot. He is a regular on the Kill Tony podcast. Just about everybody you can think of has heard of this dude, and he's in it. He worked at the Comedy Store in LA for a while, and that's really how he bumped elbows with the right people, and now he's out here headlining some of the biggest clubs in the country.
So LA is supposed to be the place. I mean, it's even bigger than New York, isn't it, for comedy? Isn't it like LA is known for the big timers?
Well, it really depends. I mean, it depends on, everybody will tell you the place to start is New York. If you're really serious about wanting to get into the business and you want to move to the big city, go to New York first because there's so many opportunities to do stand up. That's where you will get good. And then you go to LA because you'll be so good by the time you get there that they'll have to give you time on stage because there's such a large population of comedians in LA. But recently, over the past year, you're seeing this big migration to Austin, Texas, because that's where Joe Rogan just moved from, was from LA to Austin, Texas. And now Austin, Texas has kind of become like almost like the new booming comedy scene.
Well, you know, as in case you may not know this, they have a big event in Austin every year. Austin, it's Limits, I think is what it is, where they have the film, music. I don't know if you know that. It's like the biggest event of its type.
Right.
Did you know about that?
I did.
And it sells out every year.
Yeah. It's I believe they're also hosting South by Southwest right now, where David Lucas currently is. He's performing there this week.
Maybe that's the event I was thinking about.
That could be it too.
That was probably the event. They say the mind is the second thing to go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that means, but you'll tell me. So you got this gig coming up on Friday at the Laugh Factory. Our friend Enrique, of course, is good at setting these things up and making things happen. So has he been very supportive so far?
Oh, absolutely. He has been super helpful this entire time. Just anytime I called him or sent him a text message, he just gave me the information I needed like right away. And, you know, I was very surprised because I've dealt with a lot of different people being in this business for as long as I have been. And I was just so surprised that they were so helpful and so nice. And, you know, it's kind of nice, if I can make a quick little jab, but it's nice to kind of make all my comedy friends jealous because they're all like, "How did you get the Laugh Factory? How'd you get the Laugh Factory?" I'm like, "I just called them." And honestly, that goes so far in comedy that people don't know. It's just being nice with people, being
Well, you know what? Your reputation and also the fact is you're funny and you're a great host doesn't hurt either because
I
there's a lot of
appreciate
people
it.
that I'm sure that call and try to get in there and they don't.
That yep, that is true too.
So there you go. So apparently, it's better. It's better that you're doing this than being a gynecologist.
Yeah, I've never tried to be a gynecologist, so I wouldn't know.
Or maybe a proctologist or an accountant or something, and you're meant to be in comedy
Oh well, yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
and the
my
Navy
mom.
and the Navy.
Well, right. My mom would probably disagree with you if I called her and I was like, "Hey, I just found out I have a degree in cardiology." She would probably be a little bit more excited than this show that I'm hosting on Friday night. But she's always been super supportive.
I thought you were going to say she was going to be supportive, and you were going to say, "Hey, mom, I'm going to be a gynecologist."
She would have liked. I mean, any. She told me very young age. She was like, "You need to try and be a doctor." And when I started, cracking jokes and telling her like, "Oh, this is what I'd rather be doing," she was like, "Okay, I support it, but I'd rather you be a doctor."
There you go. So who can we expect to be there with you this Friday?
So David Lucas is headlining. He's our big name, and we also have two local Crown City comedy favorites. Colton Harpy, he'll be on the show, and he's done so much to help out. And we also have Joe Grillo, and he's also a local favorite. Both of those guys, you can see them pretty much anywhere in San Diego, but primarily at the La Jolla Comedy Store. And I myself will be hosting.
So, do you like performing the comedy more, or do you like the hosting better?
Um, I try to mix it up. This last show that I did last Friday, I actually had someone else host, and I gave myself a feature spot, just because I'm getting used to doing a little bit more time. And that's really the only difference is the time. When you're a feature act, you normally do about 10 to 15 minutes. When you're the headliner, you should be able to do at least 30 to an hour. But the host, I mean, that's the easiest gig that there is. I just go out, kind of warm everybody up. Nobody really expects that much from me. And so if I do get a really big laugh out of them, it's like, oh, even the host is funny.
Well, actually, you're a very good host, and you are funny. Robert Garcia, nice to see you, of course, Mr. Garcia. Always a pleasure, a fellow veteran, and of course, a very supportive individual here at IQ Podcast. We appreciate you, everything you do,
Thank you,
and thank
Robert.
you, and thank you for your service, of course, Robert. Not just to IQ Podcast, but to the your artillery military. What's that? Air Force. I thought Sarah was going to say you also are a stripper, but I don't think you do that anymore. But anyway, going back to what we were saying, so this is going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. My wife is ready for it to be over because I've talked about nothing else for a month, and she's like, we're supposed to be going to Disneyland at the end of the month, and she was like, after this show, you're gonna take a little bit of a break, and then you can get back to it after our Disneyland vacation. And that was the deal we made. I was like, okay,
I don't know if you really ever take a break at Disneyland.
yeah,
I don't think you.
not the way we do it.
No, I mean, I think with all the people and then just the rides. I mean, it's not like camping.
No. Our Disney trips are normally like we have blisters on our feet and we're like,
You walk everywhere. You
yes,
just
we're
you.
exhausted.
So
That's
that
how
doesn't sound like relaxing to me. That sounds like it sounds like fun.
Oh yeah.
But and we also like Disneyland. What did he say, Robert? What is he saying here? I can't see that.
Shared to my Facebook group and Vet Tribe.
He said your mustache is on point.
Well, I appreciate that. If I could grow it out to a handlebar, I would, but they won't let me. That's out of regs.
I thought you were going to say something else about the mustache, but we won't go there. We can go into a lot of different topics with that. But yeah, so we've talked about doing some type of event for the military, somewhere that is great location and so on and so forth. Where they could have a good time and we can say thank you for their service. So I know you're very passionate about the military, and you're also involved with the military. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm currently active duty. I'm stationed right up here on NAS North Island, and Yeah, I actually picked these orders to come to San Diego because in my part time, I wanted to pursue comedy a little bit more. I wanted to get better at it, and this is a great city to develop in. And yeah, I've really enjoyed my career so far in the military, and I'm just kind of just playing it tour by tour on whether or not I want to get out or I want to stay in. I'll be 8 years this October, so
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you planning on 20 years?
So when I joined the military, it was I'm just gonna do the 5 that I signed up for, and I'm gonna get out. And then that turned into, well, let's tack on an additional 6, like what could it hurt? And
So you must like the whole military structure.
yes, I will admit, and I tell a lot of people this, like I'll complain about it, like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do this. And then I talk to people that have like real, like 9 to 5 jobs, and they're telling me like you could get fired at any time for just any reason. So you should be thankful. And to be honest with you, when COVID first hit, that was one of the first things I said is this is the first time I am so happy I'm not a full-time professional comedian because a lot of those guys just got destroyed by the pandemic. I mean, there were
Oh
people that were
yeah.
just really funny, lived in LA, were right there on the doorstep of making it, and they had to move back home. And I I've really enjoyed being in the military. I mean, it got me out of my small town. It's taken me all around the world, and I've had the opportunity to meet so many different people from so many different walks of life, which in turn will produce more material that I can use as a comedian.
Well, and I do you use a lot of your life situations in your comedy a lot?
Yes, yes.
Is that common for comics?
Oh yeah. I think it is. And it's really easy to kind of you don't want to be something that's way too trendy because you'll start to tell jokes that other people have told as well or sound a lot like a joke that somebody else has told. When you talk about yourself and your own personal experiences, no one else can come up with that. And it's really easy to tell those stories because you know them. And that's something I've even discovered just in you know, the past couple of weeks is like people really like this material where I talk about my family or I talk about,
Mhm.
you know, something that happened when I was a kid, like because a lot of people relate to it.
I think so too. And with all the stuff going on with the pandemic, I guess using family as a situation, like you said, possibly politics is probably a very touchy thing, I would think,
Oh yeah, I try to stay away from politics
because
if I
that can get
can.
people really edgy. I bet.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Very-
And a lot of comedians are starting to kind of get away from it just because you turn on the TV and it just
It's too
depend.
much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you're for. It's just an ear beating all day long. So just to kind of get away from all of it for a little while is what a lot of people are starting to really get into more.
So, anything else you'd like to share with us?
Uh, no, honestly, I mean, this show on Friday, I'm so excited for everybody. We're going to be having a blast. Uh, like we said again, it will be Friday night, 7 p.m. and 9:30. Now, I know the 7 p.m. show is getting close to selling out, so if you're going to get your tickets, you need to get them as soon as possible. I don't know exactly when they're going to sell out, but it's
It's
coming
like
down to the
is it
wire.
almost like 300 seats?
It seats 290 in their showroom.
They probably have a few people standing around, so it's probably about 300.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Have you been down there yet?
Our friend
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
made it, developed it.
It's a
I
beautiful club.
I remember when he took us down there and we saw what he was doing. I mean, we were just like, wow. Remember, Sarah? It was just amazing. Shout outs to Justin LaFrance, of course, for all the things he does and all the build out he does. He's just one of the top builders, and he's a hell of a funny guy too.
Awesome.
I wonder why he hasn't done an act yet. He should be doing some stand up. He's done everything else.
Tell him to hit me up. He can be on my next show in April at
I
the
will.
gallery.
We will let him know that. Who's that? Larry Dalrose. Thank you, Larry. It's good to hear you. You doing great? Hope you're doing good. And we look forward to seeing more of your shows. I don't know if we're going to make this Friday. I have to talk to Sarah because I don't know what she's got planned, but we support you.
Absolutely.
And
And
we
you're
look
welcome anytime.
well.
I like seeing you guys in the
We
audience.
love what you're doing, and we love you're a good guy, and thank you again for your service not only for our country, but for the laughter you bring our country.
I appreciate
We
that.
appreciate you. Okay, everybody, let's support this guy. Let's support his group. Let's support Laugh Factory. They're great guys, great organization, and of course, let's get over to the San Diego downtown, and they got a great little setup there. You'll have a few drinks, have a great time, laugh, and we look forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully, at one of these events coming up. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And of course, to my sponsors, thank you, Attorney King, for what you do. And if you guys get a chance, vote for him and the best of San Diego going on right now. Of course, he's one of the best at what he does. Also, Saquon Casino and Resort, they're also in that, I think. And of course, Chairman Cody Martinez, thank you for what you do. IB Fitness CEO Marina Teal is just amazing and does a great podcast here with us. She's fantastic and a good friend. And don't mess with her; she'll kick your ass. But we'll do it with humor. Nikki Rods, of course, owner Tim Aaron. Thank you for all the support, and it's been a great relationship. We enjoy our friendship and relationship. And if everybody gets a chance, stop by and have a rotten burger.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
Good food.
Yeah,
and the tater tots.
Yes, and the TJ style hot dog. I went in there.
I haven't had that.
Oh, it was so good.
Really?
Yes. So
you know they had a TJ style hot dog. That's your thing. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Take care. Let's try to laugh, have a good time, and remember, be nice to each other. And yippee-ki-yay.